Today on Blueprint Bootcamp, we're going to try not to get tangled in the angles because we got a lot of them today, so stay tuned. Alright, so for today, BB number 5, we're going to be doing the offset flange. So let's jump into that and take a look. You'll see we have a circle, centralized. This is, like I said, it's called an offset flange, but a couple of things to pay attention to with this is we got some angles, we have some dimensions that aren't clearly marked, and it doesn't look like we have everything we need. However, we do have all the dimensions we actually need. So if we take a look, first off, we're going to be drawing a center point circle around the origin that is going to be 3 inches in diameter. If we back out and we look, all of our other circles get placed on a 4.5 inch radius or diameter around this construction circle right here. We come back down over here. I gave this measurement as a radius, but if we look at that, radius 2.0 means we're going to have a diameter of 4. Inside here, we're going to have some circles. We have an outside circle with a radius of 0.75 and an inside circle with a diameter of 0.75. These are all 60 degrees apart from one another. And this guy over here is 80 degrees. Let's come up there. 80 degrees apart from the other one. And we have a nice round fillet in the corner, all at 0.25 across the board. So I look at this as something that I might get from a customer who, this might have been a cleaned up version of a napkin sketch, and this is what we have to go with. So without any further ado, let's jump into Onshape and let's get this thing started. All right, now that we are in Onshape, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start on the top plane, Shift and S, and N to normalize, and P to hide those planes. So if we take a look, like I said, we're going to start with that 3 inch circle right in the center point circle, letter C, and I'm going to click once on the origin, one more time out to the side, and then we're going to get a text box, and right there I need to write 3 for that. Now personally, one time I drew this, I've drawn this a couple of times now just to kind of practice it. The next thing I did was go to draw that that dotted construction line, and it kind of got in the way. So what I decided to do was just nix it. And if we look, my next one I need to draw is a circle that is 4, because we have a radius of 2, so a diameter of 4. Double that again. If you're the type that likes to type in the number exactly, you can do 2 times 2. So if you want to take that number from the radius and do 2 times 2 to where it gives you a function. Let me move this. There we go. You'll see we have a function right here instead of just me doing the mental math in my head. It's really easy right now when it's 2 times 2. Later on, it might turn into in another drawing you do, it might be a little harder to duplicate that. So learning how to do that algebra inside is pretty easy and a very good tool to use. So next thing I want to do is not draw a line. I want to draw a circle, but we're going to track it from this center point. So we're going to come up from our origin. I'm going to draw a circle that needs to be 0.75 in diameter, and centralized from that same point, I need one that is 1.5, or like we did before, 0.75 times 2. And I often find that my students find it really helpful if we write all our stuff out, so you can refer back to your dimensions to make sure you're taking a count of everything that's actually on that print that I give you. So after that, we need to give a dimension, and this is where I give, instead of doing that that circle, this is how I did it. So I'm going to press D for dimension. I'm going to click my origin and my center of those 2 circles. And what I need to do this time is do 4.5. However, instead of multiplying by 2, I'm going to do divide with that slash, divide by 2, and press enter. Okay. Now you'll see, we'll press escape to drop those the tools. I need to get rid of some stuff. So I want to press M for trim. And again, if you're the type that likes to find it in the toolbar, it lives up here. So M for trim. And what I'm going to do is just cut out these parts right here, and this center, and these parts right here. Okay. Now you could do this again and draw another circle off to the side. And I know some of you guys probably want to draw that circle, and you're used to seeing the construction lines. So I'll show one way to do that. And actually, we'll do that off to the side with this 80-degree or 80-degree rotation. So I'm going to draw a line out here. And how long does that need to be? Well, we know if it's a radius of 4.5 that I also need that to be, or a diameter of 4.5, I need that to be half of that. So 4.5 divided by 2 would give me 2.25. And I'm just going to type that one in this time, 2.25. However, I want that to be a construction line, so I'm going to press select it and press the letter Q. Next, I'm going to give it a dimension. I'm going to turn my planes back on because this is a cool trick you can use. I'm going to go from here to here, clicking that to those two lines and telling this to be 80. And then now from here, I would draw my circle. Center point circle, same thing as before. 0.75 and another one on the outside of 1.5. So I would go through and then trim all that up, and I could do exactly like I did on that other one. However, we're all about getting things done the quick and easy way, and the way that's going to get you your drawings done in a effective manner, but the way that's going to get the job done quicker to where you can get more jobs. You know, a lot of drafting is piece rate, and if I were to draw each individual circle, how many different times and iterations am I going to have to go in and put this fillet here? That's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't do it yet. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to click Shift and F. And I know some of you engineers in the community do not like doing this to start. You like doing it in a 3D view, but a lot of my viewers, a lot of you guys are up and coming and you're new and you don't even know the 2D side yet. So I'd rather you learn how to do it in both sides. So we're going to click those two corners. We're going to accept it, and I'm going to type in a radius of 0.25, which I know it already had populated, but I like typing everything in to make sure I have it. Next step, we're going to come up here, and we're going to use our pattern tool. So if we click this drop down, I don't want a linear pattern, I want a circular pattern. And I'm going to select everything with a blue window that I need duplicated. Okay, now it might get a little wonky, and for some reason it always puts my my like selector point right here, and I don't really like that. So I'm going to grab that and drag it to the center of my circle right there. Let me zoom in a little more. You'll see I want that centralized there. Now we just got to kind of look around and see what we got going on. So if we see my pattern here, it says 3x. Well, I need 4 of those. Okay. And you're like, well, that's not how I want it. Well, if you grab this arrow here and you kind of slide it back, you can tell it that you want it to go to half of that circle, which would be 180. And it's going to plop those guys where we need to. Now, I know on the print, if we pop back over to the print, you can see that I said, hey, from here to here is 60. Okay, well, let's do that math really quick. 60 plus 60 is 120, plus another 60 gives us 180 degrees. So it's some kind of quick, easy way to do this. Now, we're going to do another pattern, except this time, instead of doing 4 to the right, we're going to go 2 to the left. So go ahead and switch back over, and you'll see same steps as before. We're going to select here, select all of this stuff right here, double click that 3x and change it to a 2. Click the arrow to swap it to the other side. Start dragging that arrow back. Oh, and it looks like we can snap right to 80. So if I wanted to just drag and click, that's fine. But no, I can double click on that and type in whatever. Let's say it was actually 90 degrees. It would break. Oh, well, it's breaking because I did. Let me undo that real quick. There we go. So again, circular pattern, select, double click that to be 2. We'll swap directions. We'll bring that guy back. But the reason it's messing up is because I did not go from that center point. So make sure you pick that center point first. Double click that 105. We're going to change that to 80. And we will accept. And we have our shape. Now, a couple of quick tips. I know a lot of you guys on here are doing this for plasma cutting. Maybe you want to make something and you want to cut it out really quick. And I know we're all about being fully defined every time. But if I go through and I start trimming, this is a lot of stuff I got to trim out. Okay. And what my students and me sometimes personally too, I end up doing is cutting the wrong thing out. So what I like to do is if I just click the green check mark and accept it, click sketch 1 and press extrude, Onshape's got this really cool intuitive way of like figuring things out. And it like auto know, it's like, oh, well, but you probably didn't want this part selected in here where it overlaps, right? You probably didn't want these parts here. So, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and I think I know what you're doing. So I'm going to make my own. And it doesn't matter the thickness you make it. I think I did like 0.75 just to kind of see what it would look like. But now you have your part, but instead of going here and coming in and trimming all this stuff out, like I said, okay, I can just go here, right click or click the front of that face and then right click and then say export as DXF instead of going through here and exporting the sketch 1 with all the construction lines and everything else. I like having things clean and ready to go when I send them to my plasma table, and this is the way I get it done really quick. So sometimes people will forget to select it and they'll just click export and you'll end up getting what's called a STL, and that's for like 3D printing. So if you're doing that and you're like, I don't know why my plasma table can't open it, this is probably the problem. So if we look back at our print, the question was, what is the area of the finished part? So I will show you how to find that again. You'll select your front face and you'll get a number down here at the bottom, which I know you can't see because I have my camera view, my face view hidden, and it's hiding that number from you guys. So that's going to do it for us on here. I hope you guys liked this drawing. I'm trying to find some more things. I'm hoping the Blueprint Bootcamp stuff's working out for you guys. It's really fun. I got all kinds of books. If you guys have any drawings or specific things, maybe you had a homework assignment from a drafting class or just a problem you're having an issue with, let me know. Send me an email and I'll see if I can tackle it. Maybe we'll turn it into a workout for some other people. So that's going to do it for us. You guys take care. Have a good night.